Thank you to the organizers for inviting me here today. My name, like you heard, is Catherine. And first of all, I would like to say to Mr. Gusep, even before I start, that he said women are queen of cheese, but somehow they disappear. Mr. Gusep, 20 years later, I'm here. Back home, I'm known actually not as Catherine. People call me Mama Maziwa. Mama stands for mother or woman. Maziwa is milk, so that is milk woman. Or others call me just happy cow. As you can see, I was born and raised in an entrepreneurship family. We were 9 children with my 6 sisters and 3 brothers. In a small farm where we were actually only doing the cash crop that you require for home for food on a small farm. But beside that, my parents had a shop, and my mom was the one under control, or rather the breadwinner. As you can see, 1992, 1983, between that time I did meet some volunteers who are working in the area where I was working in Kenya, and they were on many lines of economics and livestock, and I got to be invited to visit the Netherlands in 1982, 1983, where I gained lots of my knowledge on dairy as I was working in a dairy farm. You can see there I was milking, I was working on a shamba, that is a farm, and I was feeding those cows there. Between that and 1994, we traveled a bit. I got married and we traveled a bit in Southeast Asia and Africa, and came back around this time in Kenya, where I started the Happy Cow with 3,000 liters of milk. I started because I did start with selling dairy equipment, and somewhere on the line, some equipment I had brought did get a buyer, and I thought, why not get into it myself? And that's why I found myself starting in dairy and trying to help the women around. I started in fermented milk and cheeses, and as you can see, with a small workforce. And 1999, we grew. The growing became because when I started my cheese, I did not have a market for it. And not that people are not making cheese in Kenya. There was one person who was making cheese, but I believe, and we used to buy also from that. It was young, and when I started mine, since I didn't have a buyer for it, it was aging, and the first customer who tasted it as a friend, she said, "Hey, what do you have here? We are not going to bring any more cheese from Europe. This is exactly what we bring from Europe." And that's how I got off and went as far as increasing my production through word of mouth. So in 1999, as you can see, we grew into 3,000 and increased our production and employed more staff. That's how we did. That's the small cheese, and yeah. Today we have expanded and now in my own factory, moved out from a rented premises where I was processing, and now as I'm standing here talking to you, I'm currently doing 17,000 liters of milk, and yeah, an increased range of 25 products, distributing, and yes, the rest. That is the new factory you can see there, and that's the cheese shop, our cheese shop. Happy Cow now is ISO certified and halal, and over there you can see the lady is giving education lessons. Well, this part here is, apart from doing cheese and milk, I'm also playing part in other business related matters, yeah. What do I want to say about the wider impact of milk in my story? With the production we have and the buying, we need to buy a lot of milk from the farmers, and this goes far as supporting the families that I do buy the milk from, and this helps to maintain the basic needs of the families because they make money out of that. Most of these farmers we buy cash on weekly, fortnightly. Initially it was like paying cash on delivery, but at the end of the day, this cash money doesn't translate into anything much because you get it cash, you spend it, you don't see what. So we went on to buying fortnightly, and as I'm talking now, I pay every month, the following 10th of the following month after collecting the whole month, and that's a good amount of money, and the family can budget for it. With the milk, we are able to provide business support to service providers, deliver health and quality dairy products, and our company, we are using it as a dairy incubator. What do I say by that? From the persons I've employed, out of about 4 ladies and 1 man, they have started their own business, having trained in-house at Happy Cow, and they are doing well. Well, all this doesn't go easily. It goes with a lot of challenges, especially as a woman. And I think most of you, you know, with the African men, they want to be the ones who are saying, and the woman should be the one to listen. And it's like this woman is looking after the animal, milking the animal, getting the feed for the animal, and yet at the end of the day, who wants to take the money is the man who wants to take the money. That is a challenge, and I'm trying to work on that because when I meet my women, I try to form a women group and make them strong, because with one person you don't really have a say, but when you are a group, at least you have a strength to get over the man way of thinking. There's also difficulties for women to get finances in the part of the country where I come, because you require collateral and things like those. But I've learned to try to help the women group by trying to get access of money using the supply, the invoices of the supply of milk supplied to me. So I stand in as a guarantor to them, and they can get money to be using by the time maybe their money comes around. General business is dominated, of course, by men globally, but that is not really a big challenge if you believe in your dream. You know, if you believe in your dream, and your dream should exceed the capacity of your achievement, and if your dream, if you're not scared of your dream, then I think your dream is not big enough. My strength, as I said, I'm brought up in an entrepreneurial family, and my mom, especially my mom, was really a strong part of player in my life. I did a lot of things with my mom. Even when I got married, stayed on, my mom came and lived with me, and she could always remind me, whenever she saw the work I was doing, she could always remind me, hey Catherine, you remember what we used to do when your father said no? And I said yes, and it went on. Yes, I said yes, Mom, I remember. So she said, if you continue like that and believe in yourself, you'll make it in life. I take myself to be to have a spirited attitude. I really don't say, no, I'm not able to do, and I don't take a no from almost anybody. I try to do what I think is right. I had an international exposure, so that's an advantage for me, and this helped me try to help other women who hasn't moved around and like not knowing how to eat things like cheese, you know. Another impact in my life and pillar is my family. I have a husband who believes in me. He believes in my ideas. He does not downplay my idea. Anytime I come up with an idea, he says, Catherine, go for it. See if it works. And that's how I have managed to make it to where I am. And I've got children who always say, Mom, you know you can do it. Your mother did it. All those women you work with, they believe in you. And at the end of the day, you see what comes out of them. So really, that is the success of my story. Thank you.